The following content was pulled from private affidavits, federal records, and insider correspondence tied to the Diddy investigation. This story was never cleared for public release, but it's out now. Courtroom Day 28. A white envelope was hand-delivered just before the afternoon recess. No press was notified. The initials JLL were printed in all caps along the tab. Inside, a sworn affidavit from Jennifer Lopez. 6 pages. 2 exhibits. No legal team present in court. The filing was marked as a voluntary statement of suppressed affiliation. The judge allowed it under protective motion, citing historical pattern relevance to the Cassie investigation. No names were redacted. Her statement begins without a greeting, without a preface. Just a single line. I was never invited upstairs. I was asked to build the stairs. It started in the summer of 2005. I had just finished shooting a film and launched a fragrance line. The business was growing fast, but I was craving something smaller, something honest. That's why I started the movement, a summer dance intensive for underrepresented girls in Los Angeles. No branding, no partnerships, no men in the room. I funded it personally, leased the studio through a third party, and handpicked the girls from open call auditions. No agents, no managers, just raw energy. It wasn't about performance, it was about presence. I wanted them to know the difference. By week 2, it was everything I hoped it would be. Sweaty, emotional, focused. I was showing up 3 times a week. No glam team, no entourage. Just me and the music. And then, the attention started. My creative director came to me after a session and said, "There's a label interested in sponsoring the program. Big money, big press." I didn't even ask who. No, I said. Flat. Immediate. I didn't need their check. I didn't want their eyes. But the next day, a package showed up at my house. No name, no return label. Inside was a printed proposal, clean, corporate. At the top it read, "Proposal for sponsorship, the movement Diddy Combs Enterprises," and at the bottom, "Full funding wardrobe by Sean John Press, placements with vibe essence." But it wasn't those details that bothered me. It was the phrasing, talent development, long-term mentorship opportunities, observational all intensives and showcases. I read that sentence 3 times, then a 4th. They didn't want to partner. They wanted proximity. They didn't want to help the girls. They wanted to watch them. It read like support, but it felt like surveillance. So I did what I knew I had to do. I said no, not maybe, not circle back, just no. And that's when the silence around me started shifting. I built the movement to be a sanctuary, not a PR stunt, not a content machine. Just a place where girls could train, sweat, and be seen for who they were becoming, not who the world wanted them to be. We had 25 dancers in the program that summer. Most of them came from public schools, community centers, second chance programs. A few had never even been in a professional studio before, and they were incredible. These girls didn't move like they were being watched. They moved like they were finally being allowed. No stylists, no filters, phones locked away in cubbies the minute they walked in. It was sacred. But I should have known. It couldn't stay that way forever. By the 3rd week, the whispers started, and they weren't coming from inside the room. They were coming from outside. My assistant noticed it first. A car parked across the street. Same model, same time. 3 days in a row. Then a random stylist, someone I'd never worked with, showed up claiming to be sent by a friend to offer wardrobe for the girls' final showcase. When we told her there wasn't one scheduled, she just smiled and said, "Oh, he told me that might change." I didn't like the way she said he. Then a scout, definitely label affiliated, tried to walk in through the back door during a water break. Told the studio manager he was there to observe future talent. We shut it down. No visitors, no observers, no outside access. If you weren't there on day 1, you weren't getting in, period. But the strangest part, the girls started showing up on casting lists. One of them, a 17-year-old from Phoenix, got flagged in a casting grid for a commercial campaign she'd never auditioned for. Another got approached outside the studio by someone who said he'd seen her move before, only she hadn't performed anywhere else, except in my camp. That's when it hit me. They were already watching. They didn't need a formal invitation. They didn't even need cameras. They just needed access. Any access. And I was the door. That's what I couldn't unsee. That's what I couldn't forget. So I did the only thing. Dear Miss Lopez and the movement leadership team. Cute. There was no team. There was just me. And the girls. The first 2 paragraphs were all praise. A revolutionary step toward reimagining mentorship for young women. An inspirational platform we believe deserves expanded visibility and resources. Then came the deal. Full funding. Wardrobe through Sean John. Press coverage with Vibe and Essence. Mentorship liaisons, available for the girls. And this line buried in the middle of paragraph 3. We believe this platform may surface early-stage talent suitable for long-term mentorship relationships within the Combs network. That was the one. The sentence that changed everything. I read it 3 times. Then I called my lawyer and asked him to read it too. He flagged 3 clauses immediately, ones I hadn't even caught yet. No requirement of participant representation to accept offer. Observational presence need not be disclosed to participants. Combs-affiliated personnel may attend workshops at discretion of sponsoring entity. I said, excuse me, that wasn't a proposal, that was a pipeline. And they wanted me to pave it. They weren't asking to support these girls. They were asking me to help select them, label them, deliver them. That's when I realized. I wasn't being offered a partnership. I was being offered a disguise. Their presence was supposed to come wrapped in empowerment. Their access hidden in my credibility. I didn't read the rest. Didn't need to. I called it what it was. Predatory professionalism. I said no. Again. Louder this time. That same afternoon, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. We thought you were about legacy. I didn't reply. That night, something slipped under my front door. Plain white paper. One line, typed in courier font. Every door you lock means someone else opens it first. No name. No signature. I kept the paper, folded it once, filed it in the back of a locked cabinet, and I never opened that camp again. 4 days after I turned down the official sponsorship proposal from Combs Enterprises, I got a call from someone I hadn't spoken to in over a year. He wasn't my manager, wasn't on payroll, not even technically in my circle, but he was around. You know those industry people who don't belong to anyone but seem to float between the cracks. Not on the invite list, but always in the room. That was him. He used to work AAN.